Let's go!
Welcome to Ali and Mates, where we learn new things about this wonderful world. I'm your host, Ali.
Let's get into this week's episode.
Let's start with this or that, where I ask you 3 rapid-fire questions and you need to answer straight away. There's no time for thinking and there's no right or wrong. Let's go. Would you prefer the weather to be bucketing down with rain or be cold and super windy? Would you rather have a cup of tea or a glass of orange juice? And final question, would you prefer cleaning your room or helping in the garden?
Time's up. Good job.
Fun fact of the week.
If you're listening on the day this episode comes out, it's Good Friday. That's a really special day for Christians all around the world. On Good Friday, we remember that Jesus died on a cross. That part of the story is really sad, and it's okay to feel that. But here's the important thing. Jesus chose to do it because he loves us so much. He made a way for us to be close to God forever by taking the punishment we deserved onto himself. But the story doesn't end there. On Easter Sunday, we celebrate something amazing. Jesus didn't stay dead. He came back to life, and that means he is more powerful than death, and it gives us hope. This week, I've been learning about how people in different countries remember this special time. In Australia and the United Kingdom, lots of people eat hot cross buns on Good Friday. They have a little cross on top to remind us of Jesus, and they taste pretty great too. In Spain, there are big street parades called processions. In Greece, people gather at night holding candles and walking together quietly through the streets. In Bermuda, families fly colourful kites on Good Friday, the kites reminding people of Jesus rising up to heaven. In Mexico, some towns put on huge outdoor plays where people act out the Easter story with costumes, and it's like a giant live performance for everyone to watch and remember together. And in Germany, Good Friday is a very quiet and peaceful day. Shops are often closed and people take time to slow down and think. Isn't it amazing how people all around the world remember and honour what Jesus did over 2,000 years ago, each in their own special way? What he did wasn't just important back then, it still matters today, and it will matter forever.
Sayings explained.
Welcome to Sayings Explained, where we take funny-sounding things grown-ups say and figure out what they really mean. Today's saying is,
Let sleeping dogs lie.
let sleeping dogs lie. Imagine you see a dog fast asleep on the floor. It's all curled up, it's having a lovely nap. Now, imagine you go over and poke the dog to wake it up. What might happen? Well, yeah, the dog might jump up, bark loudly, suddenly things get really noisy and a bit messy, but if you had left the dog sleeping alone, everything would have stayed calm and peaceful. So when someone says, let sleeping dogs lie, they don't really mean dogs. They mean that sometimes it's better not to bring up an old problem again, especially if everyone's moved on. For example, maybe you and your friend have a little argument yesterday, but today you're playing happily together again. Well, if things are going well and everything's peaceful, it might be better not to start talking about the argument that happened yesterday and make everyone upset again. The Bible often teaches us about forgiving people and choosing peace. Sometimes the best thing we can do is forgive, move on, and not stir up trouble again.
Let sleeping dogs lie. Mystery sound. Can you guess the mystery sound?
Alrighty, time for our mystery sound. Listen closely and see if you can guess what this sound is. Ooh, I would not like to hear that sound up close. If you guessed a bear, you're spot on. Well done.
Kids Corner!
Okay, welcome to Kids Corner, where we share jokes from our listeners. And today we have a joke from...
Hi, my name is Henry and I'm 5 years old. This is my joke. Why did the toilet paper roll down the hill? Because it wanted to get to the bottom.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Henry. And if you'd like your joke on the show, ask an adult to read the show notes.
G'day kids, it's Safety Sean here with today's safety tip about campfires. Now, one of the best things about camping is having a fire, am I right? They keep you warm, they're fun, and they help you cook delicious marshmallows. But remember, fire is powerful, so we need to treat it with a lot of respect. So here are my tips to keep you safe. Tip number 1, have an adult around. You should never try to start a fire without asking an adult. They look fun and exciting, but if it gets out of control, it could start a bushfire. So always have an adult around if you're starting or looking after a fire. Tip number 2, give the fire some space. When a fire is burning, keep a safe distance. Don't run or push or play games near it in case you fall in or knock someone over. Fires are very hot and can burn, and it can also make the rocks or sticks or metal nearby really hot too. And remember, fire stays in the fire. Pulling something out that's already on fire can be dangerous for those around you. Tip number 3, make sure the fire is fully out. Before anyone leaves a campsite, a fire must be completely out. No flames, no smoke, no glowing coals, just cold ashes. A grown-up should probably pour some water on it to make sure it's safe and it doesn't catch alight again. Fire can be really helpful and really fun, but only when we use it carefully. This is Safety Sean, reminding you to stay safe and enjoy those marshmallows.
What? Are you for real? How? No way! Seriously?
Teeth are super important. They help us chew our food, bite into crunchy apples, and even help us make sounds so we can communicate. Most adults have 32 big teeth, including our wisdom teeth. There's usually 16 on the top and 16 on the bottom. Sometimes people lose teeth, or they have some taken out if their mouth gets a bit overcrowded. But one man has a very unique smile. A Malaysian dad named Prathad Menandi has made headlines for having 42 teeth. That's 10 more than the average person. I bet his big smile makes others smile. Let's finish up with some thankful thoughts. For me, I'm feeling really grateful today. I got to watch my kids at school this week, and what made me proud wasn't just what they did, but how much effort they put in. One of my boys stood up in assembly and gave a speech, and that took a lot of courage. Even though he was feeling a little bit nervous, he got up and gave it his best. And my other son, he's nearly finished his first term of kindy, and he's been working so hard practicing his reading and writing every day. It's incredible that he can already read full sentences and that he keeps trying and asking questions and wanting to learn more. Ooh, and Safety Sean, you've got something you want to add?
I just got to drive to Broken Hill last week. That's 14 hours away in a car. I got to see some incredible sunsets, some awesome animals, and the amazing scenery. And I'm thankful that God created all of it.
Let's hear from our other mates.
Hi, my name's Sam. My thankful thought is being invited to a party.
Hi, my name's Rosie, and my thankful thought is that I finished off an artwork at school that I was working really hard on.
My name's Will and I am 3 years old, and I am thankful for going in camping.
Before I say goodbye, instead of a quiz, I would love to hear what's one thing that you're thankful for today. Share it out loud. If you'd like to share that on the podcast for others to hear, just get an adult to read the show notes. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Allie and Mates. Until next time, have fun, stay curious, and always be kind. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Let sleeping dogs die.
No, not die. Lie.